Hey everybody, Toaster back with another replay for you, this time on the T49. I am platooned with Combat and Effective, and of course we're on Prok, and this is an encounter battle. I'm going to go ahead and get this started. And this is a pretty good light tank map. Sorry if you guys can hear my video card in the background. I changed the fan out on it, but haven't done that as of yet. So, but I wanted to get a video up for you guys. And so normally, as if you've seen many of my videos, I like to cross and get a look into what's coming hill, but I found that less and less effective, and so we're going to go ahead and kind of surf the middle. And I know I've got combat as some help and backup behind me, so our 1390 goes ahead and gets some good lights. He went a little bit too high, but that's okay. So this is just me surfing the ridge. That's what a lot of people call it, is surfing up on that ridge. What it does is allows you to spot everything middle, and if you can stay up there, get unlit, come back up, and kind of respot, it keeps the enemy light tanks down, and therefore they cannot spot our T110E5. So we're able to get a light on that T49. I don't know if who he fired at, maybe the 1390. And I'm trying to determine if he has the derp gun or not, basically. Because that's what I've got, is a derp gun. And so we do run into each other. That happens in lights some. So I don't want to get lit too far over towards the 5-6 line, because if there's anything up on the hill, they're likely to shoot you. I've told combat to sit back, because in a game like this, it's quite often you're going to end up having to finish the round towards the end of the round, and finish the game and win the game for the team. Combat says that he's been spotted up in that corner, so I'm assuming there's a light tank there somewhere, and I tell him to get ready to fire. And I do not get lit here, which that helps me in a couple of ways. It helps me determine that they don't have a tank up on the F line, F1, F2 area. So I'm willing to push up a little bit. And it's important when you do push up to sit in this bush and not really do anything, because when guys are firing, that's when they're going to get spotted. So you just need to be patient, and our patience pays off. We're up to 1,600 assists now, 1,800, and this PTA is going to die, or at least I think he's going to die. Yeah, and so we're down 3-1. And so I know that I've got to kind of make things happen, but at this point, I'm waiting on that Centurion 1. He's in a good location, quite honestly, and the T49 is being super aggressive. So we want to punish that, right? I've got a derp gun. I can punish that, and we only hit him for 300, and I take a lot of damage there. But the issue is that when they come over and try and chase, I know that I can have support behind me, and they're going to pay the price. So we just take a snap on that T49. That's okay. We don't have to hit every shot. We just need to get him out of that ditch, because if he stays in that ditch, it's going to be a game over for us. And that's the advantage that they have on that side. We once again almost hit our light tank, but we're able to kind of maneuver around him. And I noticed that this Centurion 7-1 is all alone in this ditch now, and he is not looking at me. So I'm going to go ahead and auto aim and put the derp into him, see what we can do. So we do take one hit for it, and that's okay. He doesn't dare come higher up on the hill, and now we're getting dangerously low on health. That other T49 has the 90 mil, so thankfully, actually he probably wouldn't have hit me if he didn't have the 90 mil, but that's okay. And we're able to light up this Indian Panzer, which Combat said there was something, he thought there was something out there. So now they're getting brave. They're getting too aggressive and a little too brave. So I'm letting my team know that I'm going to spot up here and be ready to fire. So I cross intentionally to see what I can see and see if I get lit. And lo and behold, there's a couple of guys right there. So I'm going to go back up to a higher bush just so I can continue to spot these guys. And I know I didn't get lit before, so it's unlikely I'll get lit now coming back into the bush. But you notice that as I come into that bush, I am trying to line up that bush with those enemies so that I am not spotted. So the T49's back. There's not a lot I can do or want to do about that. So I've told Combat to kind of to watch himself. That M48 patent is going to be a problem. But as you see, that Tiger 2 gets lit. I don't believe that I actually light him. Someone else does. And so we're just kind of taking our time waiting. Because what we don't want to do is die here. This is one of the great maps for this tank. And our T34 unfortunately got a little ambitious. And he paid the price. So we're just waiting patiently. I know I've got a Progetto and an M46 behind me, my platoon mate, so I'm just going to stay not aggressive and kind of play slow and see what we can do. IS-3 is pushing up. He ends up taking an arty shot, and there is no way he'll ever spot me down here. So the enemy has decided to cap when it's 8-8, which is a poor decision, but they do own the hill right now, which means we really do have an overmatch on this side because they have a Scorpion G and something else, another TD up on the hill. The only problem is that M48 is dangerous. It's got a very fast firing gun and it's very accurate and it's got really good shell velocity. And I'm a one-shot in every situation for him unless he's loading HE and missing me or just I get lucky. So I don't want to rely on luck here. I'm up to 3,500 assist and we're going to sit here and wait for these guys to get crazy and try and push forward, which they normally do. So our arty is saying that everyone's camping. Well, there's quite a good reason for that. So this M48 I'm trying to get a shot on. We're able to hit him for 300 and we don't even get spotted for it because we're double bush there. So I'm just trying to get in a position now that I can light him back up, and that doesn't seem to be happening, but that's okay because we're reloaded now. And Combat takes out the IS-3, which means that oh, it looks like the M48 died, so that's great. So at this point I just want to get spots on the cap. I know that there's a T49 on our side somewhere, and I do not want to face him because he's got a gun that is a lot more accurate, aims better. It's just all around better than the tank that I have. My big advantage is in alpha, and so when you're down to a two-shot you can't use the alpha. We do spot the arty though, which is great, and our Progetto 46 did go into the cap, which is fantastic. So we're just trying to get spots on these guys that are up on the hill and also this guy that's in the cap, and I decide to make a judgment call, and there you go. It's pretty easy to miss with this derp gun, and we end up getting finished off, and that's basically close to the end of our game. We ended up with 1,000 damage and about We ended up with some extra spotting there, which I don't know why it doesn't show up, but combat, we'll just finish this from our team's point of view, because it's pretty close to a win for sure. They've got a tortoise, they've also got an object 261, but we've got M46, we've got a 111 GFT, which is a very competitive tier 8. We've got two Progettos, a Mod 1, and we've also got an Artie left. So chances are we're going to win this. And the tortoise shows up. And so, I mean, I guess it doesn't seem like a very impressive game, but you're going to see we did at least 6,000 assist, which when you're doing 6,000 assist in any tier game, you're doing fairly well. So maybe I should just fast forward this a little bit so we can get through it here. So we've got a guy on cap. I told Combat he should move forward, and that's absolutely what he's doing. He's attempting to finish off the Artie, which he ends up doing, which is great for him. So he's got 4 kills. The M46 Patton is a very fine tank as well. They buffed the turret, and if you didn't know, in the last year it has become quite a great tank. And Combat does the smart thing, and he just waits for someone else to kill the tortoise, which is fine. He maybe should, well, he wouldn't have had a top gun anyway. So let's go to the after action report and see how we actually did in that game. Okay, here we are at the after action report. As you can see, I got an ace tank, or a first class, sorry about that. Well, I wish it was an ace tanker. We ended up with a patrol duty, 6,190 base X assist, I'm sorry, and 1,000 damage and 1 kill. But it really benefited Combat as well. Combat Ineffective ended up with 4,500 damage in that game, and much of that was off my spotting. Of course, we were in team speak, and I was explaining to him when and where I was going to spot and where he could expect vehicles, so that always does help, especially on an open map like Prokhorovka. So we ended up losing 2,400 credits because we resupplied our coke, which why you do use on this tank, and I'm out of them at this point. We fired 5 shots, we hit 3, and that's about the best you can expect to do with a derp gun. It's not made for accuracy. So I hope you enjoyed the replay. I hope that there was something that you could take away from that game. If you have other tanks you'd like me to play or other maps you'd like to see a replay on, I can go ahead and try and get you some info on that. Always willing to help. That's really why have this channel, is to try and help others learn the game. So I hope you enjoyed. We will catch you next time.